In this video, what we're going to be working on is finishing up the setup for our animations. So currently we have an animation for, well, an animation montage for 1911, which is incomplete, and we don't have one for the M1 carbine. So we're going to be focused on the 1911 for this video, and in the next video we'll quickly set up the M1 carbine. So first things first, we want to load up the animation montage, like so. We'll be met with this. So he's playing the ADS fire animation, which is the one we dragged in. And if you can't quite remember what the animation montage is for, at least in our case, it's to play kind of like I use it as like actions, not really as much as movements. So for example, we can have several animations in here like so, and they'll all play. But the problem is we don't have any way to dictate which one to play, and at least with our current setup. So right now we have our animation instance, then we play the animation montage, which is our fire montage. Now the fire montage is set in every one of our weapon blueprints right here. So FPS arms fire montage is what this is here. So in order to choose which animation we want to play, we need to create some sections. So we can see kind of like sections, for example, by doing anim instance. Look up section, we have montage, jump to section. The parameters are an F name, which is the section name. That's pretty much what we want. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this section here, or that animation here, and I'm going to drag out the ADS fire, which is already there, and the hip fire. That way we have two. And to show you what I mean by that is when I shoot, it'll play this one. Plays both animations. So it plays the aiming down the sights and the one from the hip. So we need to break this into sections. So if we look here where it says default, we can right click, do new montage section, and I'm going to call it fire ADS. And we're left with this. So then we can click on the default and delete. Then we can make another one, call it fire hip, like so. And now we have fire ADS and fire hip. So for fire hip, just drag it to the start right here, and it should snap to it. I'm gonna go ahead and save. So now we have fire ADS and fire hip. So based on which section we decide to play, will be which one decides to play. Then we need to go to our montage sections, and I'll actually explain the issue here in a second. So now we can choose which one we want to play, the aim down sights fire animation or the hip. So what I'm going to do here is we can do a check. So actually we want to play the fire animation first. Then we're going to do if B is aiming. We're going to do anim instance montage jump to section. Then it's an F name, and the name is fire ADS. Then a reference to the montage. So fire montage. Then we're going to do an else. Change fire ADS to fire hip and compile. So if we're aiming, we're going to play fire ADS, well, that section. If we're not, we're going to play the fire hip. So I want to wait for that to compile, and I will show you the issue that I was talking about that wasn't exactly super clear, at least to me when I initially was doing this in another project. So let's go ahead and relaunch the editor real quick and reopen that montage. Okay, good, I am recording. Thought I was wasting time. Open it up and give it a try. So I'm going to shoot. Not aiming, it plays the fire hip. That's working. I aim. As you can see, when I shoot, it plays the aim down sights fire animation, and then it goes and plays the fire from the hip, like so. Or if I hold aim, it snaps back and forth. That's because these animations are kind of linked. They're not starting and stopping. So if we go over here to montage sections, here we have the preview, and it kind of dictates the in order. So we can clear it, and now you can see they're two separate tracks, kind of. So when we play one, it should stop. So if I aim down sights now and shoot, as you can see, it's only playing that one. If I fire from the hip, it's only playing that one. So that is all working as intended. Now what we can do is we can add a simple reload. So in the asset browser, we have our reload here. I click and drag that out. We have FPS arms 1911 reload. So I'm going to right click up here, create a new section, call this one, yeah, just reload. Then we take it and we snap it right there. Now we're met with the same problem. So we go to Montage Sections and hit clear. Now they're all on separate tracks again. So let's save. See, they're all working accordingly. And whenever we create our reload function, or like the functionality to actually reload, all we have to do is simply, I'm going to end up renaming this, by the way, so it's not just fire montage, it's the montage for the actual weapon. So that all we have to do is just play the montage and jump to the section, reload, like so. And that'll be it. So I'm just going to do a quick test and make sure that that actually works, which it should. And we will continue. So aim down sight, shoot. It plays the reload animation. So we are good to go. I'll go ahead and recompile this with Fire ADS set. But yeah, we now have our basics set up for the shooting from the hip and aiming, as well as reloading. We just need to set up the reload functionality later. So in the next video, we will be doing the same thing, but for the M1 carbine. And then after that, we will begin setting up probably the ammo setup, well, the ammo to kind of correspond to how it does in Call of Duty War, well, just Call of Duty in general, actually, not the new one, just War to War. So I will see you then.